Hello and welcome to something different. Today we'll be looking at the game Legends of Runeterra, which has not 5 colors. It's still a card game. It has not 5 colors, but like all of these regions, all from the game Legends, League of Legends. And we'll be looking at some lore because it has a lot of interesting lore that we can go through. And this is just one of the colors, and there are a lot of cards in there. It does not have any rotating formats yet, so none of our cards have been useless. And as you can see, you only need 3 for a deck. That's the maximum you can get in there. And it's pretty easy to get most of them in. For example, champions are the most expensive ones. They cost like 3000 dust or like or some wild cards that you can get as well, which are pretty easy to get as well. I don't even play that much, and I have a lot of them unlocked already. One other interesting thing is in these that, for example, here we have a champion called Elise. She's like a woman that turns into a spider when she evolves. All these champions have an evolution, sort of their ultimate, as you would say in League of Legends. And these cards also have cards that work well together with them. So for example, this guy also gets eaten by a spider and then becomes a spiderling himself. They all have beautiful art, they all have flavor as well, even the spells. So let's go over them. As I said, Elise, the first one, is a woman that turns into a spider, and she likes spiders as well. A lot of people are running after her because basically she's hot, I guess. Once the head of a powerful Nocturne house, Elise's dark ties to the Shadow Isles granted her unnatural youth and beauty in exchange for a few unwitting souls offered in sacrifice, not even her own. An easy decision. So basically, we can see already that this place, Shadow Isles, is pretty about basically, I guess you'd say, a magic black mana. It is pretty evil or self-centered at least. And then when you have 3 other spiders, she evolves into Spider Queen Elise, so she becomes a spider herself when you have 3 creatures with the tribal of spider. And this one, so the other version, also has flavor. Beauty is in the many eyes of the beholder, because spiders like these have multiple eyes, basically. So we'll be going over these like that, and then I'll be pretty sporadic with them. I guess I'll be scrolling through them and look at the cards that have to do with the champion, because I think that's the most interesting. As you can see in the art, for example, we can see here that Elise is in the background as well. So that is something that prompted me to look at these a bit and see why these are so interesting. This card, for example, has a voice line. All the normal cards have voice lines as well, which is even more insane. And he often says Lady Elise as well, so that's in the flavor too, which I think is cool. I think even the spiderling itself, which is a token, has flavor. Yes. What are you afraid of? It's just one little spider. I mean, it's not too intricate, but still it's a funny joke because there will be more spiders, is basically the joke here. Let's see, do we have more spider stuff here? Not right away, but here we have a spider, a horror. Some malevolent spirits take inspiration from local fauna, twisting the familiar into the nightmarish. Definitely. So this is a spider that has been turned into something horrible by a spirit, which is pretty dark on its own. As you can see, I don't have everything, but I don't need to. In this game, you can easily use your wild cards to make any deck you want. So that's pretty insane, I'd say. More spiders. Maybe we see something, but and I like the tones as well. Like every time there's someone being webbed and then eaten, we have roses. That's something that we saw in Elise's art before, and the red stuff from the eyes, but also the ominous light in the background. So I think that's cool. And here we see Elise again in the flavor. I think they made significant effort to make everything in the story line up. And I really appreciate that. Brood Awakening is something else. It is a card that makes 3 of these small spiders, and then you can grant, which means permanently give all of your spiders plus 1 power. Also, you can see here how easy it is to keep some of the even, like this would be mythics or champion cards. You can get the wild cards for them pretty easily. And 1 champion is like 3,000 gems otherwise. So that's pretty cool. And I think that's it for... Oh no, we have... No, that's not a spider. Yeah, that's it for Elise. But so that's one of the champions, one of the mythics, and there are a lot of mythics here. And they all have interesting stories behind them already because of it has been such an old game. But also because for this game itself they have put in a lot of effort, which we can sense. This is a new one, Gwen, and she also has a skin. There are skins in this game as well already. Gwen snipped her way through the black mist. So the black mist is a sort of we'll see that later in this place too, but the black mist is from Fiego, and it is sort of all encompassing the world and sort of eating it up and never giving anything back. Thinking it's strange how completely it enveloped the area, and once she had snipped it, the enchanted manse stood out amongst the bleak woods like a beacon. Little wonder Gwen was drawn to it. How curious it was, but also how grand. Gwen is, by the way, a doll. And here we see some of her friends, and I think that's cool too, that we see already her signature creatures. She knew that the black mist must be driven back from wherever it had spread to, and the joy and light these spirits lent her efforts got through it readily. If she could help their celebration in the meantime, all the better. Cool. She's freeing the spirits. I think that's like the story, maybe. Then she has a spell, so when you can only have one of these on the battlefield, kind of like a legendary. But when you have one on the battlefield, your champion turns into a spell that has to do with the card and works well with it as well. And then you get to shuffle the champion back in your deck so that you don't really lose it. Needles out, just not really too big. I guess let's read what they do as well. When another ally gains power from Hallowed, so that's an ability, you can mouse over it to read it, which is amazing. After I die, for the rest of the game, when allies attack, Hallow your first attacker, giving it +1/+0 that round, that stacks. So do I. So when they gain power from Hallowed, Gwen does as well. And then drain 2 from the enemy nexus once. But when she evolves, you get to drain 1 from the enemy nexus 1 time for every 2 power I have. So already 2 because she has 4, but then when you Hallow her a bunch, you get some more of that drainage as well. And snip, her first ability says drain 2. So that's cool. We can see some of the new cards from her as well that I haven't really unlocked yet. Of course, because they're new. We can see they're like partygoers. I don't think there's much in this story per se. Except for that you see that there are a lot of people in this party, and sort of the theme and the blueness of these cards that often returns in these cards. I also want to look, by the way, at the skin, because these also have flavor and art as well. So these are from the Star Guardian skins with Soraka here, which is not in this place. This isn't just a beautiful dream, I'm really free. Oh, whoever you are, I can't thank you enough. So she's really innocent, I guess, Gwen, or she acts that way. It was so much to take in all at once. Who were these bright-eyed newcomers? What of Zoe and the rest of her old teammates? But all that could wait. Now that she was finally free, Gwen was determined to show this Kaiju what Star Guardians were truly capable of. Cool. That's why they saved you. Let's see, I'm not too familiar with these new ones per se, or where they are at least. So we have a butler, we saw him at the previous 2 arts as well. Bringing refreshments, it's just a 3-1, so I'm not sure why they bring that. Is this a... No, this is new I think, but not sure where it's from. Conductor of the Mists, another one in these parties, and we can see that the mists are all around them, so they can kind of use those mists, I assume. Plan on, my friends, we will have a livelier concert than ever before. And when they die, you create a ghastly band from the conductor, which is pretty cool, flavorfully. And he is here as well. Their repertoire was impressive, from minutes and waltzes to ballads and folk songs. But truth be told, the party's guests were dying for something new. Create 2 copies in the hand of 2 allied followers that have died this game. Here we are, dear. I hear tonight will be quite a splendid affair, and I suspect we'll see many familiar faces. Because of the masks, I assume. Ghostly Reveler. So dark. And so creepy. At least to me. Husks are from Evelyn, by the way. So that's a new card as well. A champion too. But she is not in here because she's in one of the other regions. So we'll get to those later, I think. Eternal Dancers. Revive an attacking ephemeral copy of the strongest dead ally other than Eternal Dancers with my power or less. Okay. Are these stitched together? Because that would be creepy. It's always easier to join someone on the dance floor than be the first person on it. The twins, however, are always delighted to show others how it's done. Because they're never really first. They're together, I guess. So that's cool. They're the party starters. And that was it for them, for Gwen. Then we have Kalista, one of the Black Mists. In life she was a general, a protector, a hero. But as flesh gave away, she was left with naught but the blazing fires of retribution, an undying spirit of vengeance. Of which her black spear, I guess, is very flavorfully tied to. And she evolves when she sees 3 people die. And so she becomes a general again, I guess. The wronged shall have their vengeance. Cool. You can see her spears in her and some of her ghostly-like friends around her. Her spell is that when an ally dies, you can reap vengeance and deal 4 to a unit. I'm not sure which ones are with her and which ones are with Hecarim and Fiego and Thrash, because they're all like those Black Mist like characters. So I'm not 100% sure, but I know this one is pretty old, but I guess most of them are with her then. I know Haunted Relic works really well with her, but it's been older than her. Mistwraith, maybe? These specters of the Isles shed their identities long ago to become amalgamations of pure, unappeasable hunger. And something cool about this art is that you can see the souls in the Mistwraith from all the people that have died around them. So it's really cool. I think this one is from Fiego. Yes, the soldiers of Camavor marched with Fiego in life, then again in death, their loyalty unwavering. And you can see the warriors that were with Kalista, so that they are pretty much allies. The sound of sword on shield was like a death knell, and it drew forth spirits whose tethers to the world had not quite been cut. Those whose will could not be quelled even in death. But these are just spirits, not really warriors per se. This one seems to be with Hecarim, I guess, because of the horse people. In death, as in life, he bellows the twisted dark command, and in death, as in life, Hecarim's loyal knights answer, charging forth to the slaughter. Okay, cool. So we'll get to that in a bit. This is from Kalista, or from Kindred. Which we'll get to here as well. Lisa must have some of her own as well, but maybe we'll get to that if we get to the creatures themselves, I assume. If we can get to Kindred, that is. Okay. Gwen wants the attention. I think we have a bug here. Okay. Bye, Kindred. Maokai, these cursed lands would not break Maokai. The Treant's commitment ran too deep and his fury burned too bright for anything to stand in his way. So Maokai is a cool design that where He wants to see you, or not even see you, but if in the whole game your units have died or cards have been tossed, which means to throw them away, which is pretty easy to do, but they could just get milled from the other side of your deck and you can't do anything with them. And then you need that 25 times, so that's a lot. But then he evolves, and when they level up, you obliterate the enemy deck, leaving only 4 non-champions. So all of their champions are gone from their deck, and they only have 4 cards, and when they mill out, they lose. He would destroy the blight within these isles and restore its long lost life. So kind of, I guess, fighting against the mist, which is interesting. In these families, they can have multiple roles, and they can even fight against each other. Burdened with the gift of revival, the World Weaver resumes his eternal task, scattering saplings across the earth. So another thing he does, the first time you summon another ally, you toss 2, and you summon a sapling. His other side does the same with the saplings, but without the tossing. In the aftermath of destruction, he alone would knit the earth back together, coaxing life from its barren soil. But this hard-earned life he knew would never linger. And I think Bark Beast is from a tree. It's like, the bark is, I guess, a bark like a wolf, but it's also the bark of a tree, which is also dead. The creatures of the Shadow Isles shed sentimentality long ago. They all must eat. But it was older than Maokai, so I think that's cool too. That there are cards that are older than their champions, but still belong to them because they are just so thematically correct. Life here so effortless, verdant forest, to sprout overnight, quite exquisite. What a treasure this land is, must preserve generations. I'm not sure why or what that says exactly, to be honest. Let's see, do we have Maokai specific? Horny Toad maybe, does it? Remarkable species, same creatures I found. So another recovered journal, just like the previous one. Same creature I found as a child, not a day older. I wonder next time. Perhaps these wonderful fellows will live forever. Like, was he possessed? Maybe? More trees? Every heart is a garden, where roots may take hold. He's caring for a sapling. That's cute, right? Oh, it's cute. Deadbloom Wanderer, I think is one. Maybe. The Great Treant has continued showing creatures. This one, to spread life as she wanders. Remarkable such. Here, these are blessed isles indeed. I'm pretty sure they are possessed. But maybe that's how we can learn that it's all from the same person, because these are all from these journals. These isles will be cleansed, says Maokai. It's all from the same journal, so probably that's how we can see. Did we see Ghostly Powermore before? No, from the Snip Snip Girl. Whether he was a ghost, a memory, or a dream, something about him was familiar. Yeah, what is up with these people? Neverglade, that is from Maokai. Bumped into Nivendis, the new ferryman. He wrote us to, he can certainly hold a tune. Before, must invite him to supper soon. and maybe this is the person from the journals, I assume. Snapvines, maybe? Today, another remarkable surfaced around. Children quite scared, but pose no threat. Nuzzled, quite a trusting creature. Must forage them more berries. Okay, he is possessed, but I don't know if the creatures have it as well. I assume they do. And I think that was it for... yeah. Maybe this was from Kindred still. Most spirits lost themselves as the passing years eroded their memories, but anguish anchored Ladros to his past. Some things even time cannot absolve. Can we... no. So Nocturne has a ability with Nightfall, where If you play one card and then a Nightfall creature, you get an ability. Like granting an enemy vulnerable, which means you can attack it directly, so you can force it to block one of your creatures. Then when you've attacked with 5 creatures with Nightfall, which is an enter the battlefield, so that's really weird to attack with them, basically. You get to evolve him, and then other allies have Fearsome, which means that creatures with 2 or less power cannot block these creatures. And when you summon a human, you give enemies -1/-0, which means they won't be able to block as easily because your creatures have Fearsome. You can see here that he works with all kinds of Nightfall dark creatures. We see the green again, we see the red a bit again. That's cool that the colors still go through. It appears that once enough souls have been shaken, it breaches our world. Only hope can send the monstrosity back to its realm. But hope died here long ago, on the queen's final breath and with the king's eternal scream. Jens Tommen, a historian. Okay. My dreams grow more vivid with each passing night. I see a creature of pure evil, writhing in the dark, twisting its way toward me. Though I was to be stationed here for another week, I have just paid for transport to Vosbarrow this evening. Plainly I cannot stand this place, says Jens Tommen again. We'll get back to him later, but we have some arcade things to go over. We see Hecarim here in the arcade. Don't start a victory lap yet, little centaur. Ooh. You can run, but you can't escape your nightmares. Does Hecarim have nightmares? Okay, let's see what friends he has. So we have to look for the misty people, maybe Sinister Poro. I mean, there are worse ways to die. Aw. Is a ghost attacking him? I don't want that. Here's a friend. It was just a pair of eyes at first. And a lone voice chittering in the shadows. More every time I looked back, angrier, louder. Soon as I saw the tooth, I ran. Will's tooth, loser. Okay. Let's see. We have more friends. I assume we do. Doombeast probably, as Nightfall. With each passing night, the travelers grew more wary. Their slumber was restless and their dreams vivid. Sleep no longer gave respite, and instead pulled the life from their bones. Definitely a nightmare. What's this from? Don't know. Do we have more Nightfall dudes? I'm not sure. Entirely. There are not more? Interesting. Alright, can we click? No. Vigor does have a skin, I assume. No, they do. Weird. Vigor, this world will fear me. It will wear my scars for all eternity. It will ache under the weight of my power. It will shudder under the shadow of my enormity. How to be a supervillain is a book he wrote. And then we see his singing friend here in the back as well, as he shouts into the void maniacally. And his goal is to make this and then be strong, be able to hit your opponents. He has minions as well. This thing, which we haven't seen yet. And the big head dude, which we have seen. Aha! Muaha! Aha! Ahahaha! Ahahaha! Ahaha! Muahahaha! Says in How to Be a Supervillain, chapter 12. So his friends have to do with darkness, I assume. Where is friends? Well, he has a minion, we saw that one. So these are the minions from League of Legends. True Supervillain, chapter 2. Can never have enough minions. Short little fellows who know their place. Obey your every word and always come back for further instructions. So we see the melee ones and then the ranged ones as well, which is cool. That they got a place in the card game. Then there are more. I'm sure. Yeah, here he is. Tenor of Terror. It was from the art. And Best of Burden. Best of Burden has a separate flavor text, but they have the same art, as we see them both here. The show had already run into a number of mishaps by the third piece, when the larger of the two singers, I use the term loosely, either delved into the world of the true avant-garde or choked on a hairball. I am, even at the time of writing, unsure which. And then the other side says, if Vigor needed help tipping the scales of justice, then none were better suited to the job than these two. They knew all of them, except the Mixolydian one. What's that? On the notes, maybe? Or all the scales? Oh, all the scales of the music, I guess. That's cool. Doesn't Ada have to do with darkness? Another nightmare? Wasn't all bad. You weren't there. Told what was the bad part. You weren't there. Aww. So they don't have anything to do with Vigor. They are with Senna, I assume, actually. Senna isn't in here, is she? No, right? I don't think so. No. No. Okay. Senna is in here. She's champion, of course. I thought she wasn't. Oh, she used to not be a champion, right? But she is now. She's a Star Guardian too. That's cool. Susanna, the wife of Lucian, which we can see here as well from Demacia. She works with darkness. Oh, there's a Lucian in this art. I didn't even know that. To be, I never click these, to be honest. To be a sentinel is to fight, to lose yourself or to lose the ones you love. But more than that, it means to live for yourself and for the ones you love. Poor Lucian. Won't get her back. She's in the darkness. Oh. We were wrong. We see here some friends of her as well. I know this one at least. And here might be one of Ada, I think. We were wrong, the black mist isn't heartless. It's not random. It has a goal, but that means we can track it. Means it can bleed. See, they're fighting the darkness, so that's cool. But she does want to play in Vigor's deck, so it's a bit weird, maybe. Do we have more friends from her? I believe we just said she does. But sometimes they are in other regions too, so that could be... Oh, here. Buru Sentinel, which grows when you kill a unit, becoming a 5/4 for 3 mana, which is insane in any card game. Oh, and here we see Ada again. That's cool. The Boru and the Sentinel philosophy align on a single crucial point. All things must end, and some must be made to end. Cool, they work together because of it. It would be cool to see a game with them in there. Solari Sentinel, when I'm summoned, create a darkness in hand if you don't have one. It's killing Commander Ladros. That's really interesting. I can feel the sun no longer. Even so, I will this memory, and that is enough. So not really with Senna, but she is affiliated with darkness and fighting darkness. So I think she might be in her party. I think I saw him as well. Pups is up. Pups is Pups. Wisdom scrawled upon the soul. I think I saw him there. In the art. Ixtali Sentinel, so another Sentinel. I think from the Sandlands. You asked me, Senna, what brought me to this fight. I have lost nothing to the mist. It does not threaten my home. It exists, and it should not. I am here to discover why. Do I need sentiment to join your cause? Maybe not. And then we have Des and Ada, and also we saw Commander Ladros, but we have looked at him a bit before. The big chain dude. So let's go back to champions. We have 3 more to go. Thrash, one of the, I think, maybe older champions in League of Legends. Cling clang go the chains. Someone's out to find you. Cling clang, oh the chains. The warden's right behind you. Watch out, Sentinel. You are mine, forever. Cling clang, oh the chains. The warden's right behind you. Says Thrash, I believe. So let's look at this Soulfire one, I believe. Here's Lucian fighting Thrash. The Remembrancers abduct your wife. Lucian, Lucian, Lucian. Your desperation has clouded your judgment. In the end, aren't you the one who failed to protect her? If you'd served us longer, perhaps you could have saved her. But your actions have made you an enemy of the Remembrancers. Yes, I'll make sure you're never happy again. With that burn. As the mist spread, Thrash awakened a previously untapped well of energy, bolstered by the black mist, reclaimed power he thought long lost among the Blessed Isles. Ooh. He seized soul after soul, relishing their agony. Each one was reduced to a mere glowing fleck within his lantern, yet it shone brightly. Cool. So we have absorbed soul with the lantern. What kills you only makes me stronger, says Thrash. Which is in his flavor, of course. Mark of the Isles, that's it. Or at what cost? No. Oh, this is with Nocturne still, the nightfall things. As the sun melts into pitch, the terrors of this plague wake, watch and wait. He just looks at the guy who sleeps. That's actually pretty cute. Curse Keepers, maybe affiliated with them. Madness and Time, never was there a more terrible pair. No, I don't think that's the case. Then. Soul Shepherd, maybe? Only the Fallen knew that she did not walk alone. Only they could see the countless companions she led down the path to the lands beyond. Don't think that's a Thrash friend. Maybe there aren't any. Remitter? Just spirits friends. I don't think they're maybe. No, just things telling us that the spirits here want to kill you. We were told they called it a legend's journey. We were going to for Demasia's future. We sailed with such hope, but all those lives for what? Matron. The ruination, which is a spell as well, corrupted all those gods in its path. The kind became cruel, the brave became brutal. Reason gave way to resentment. So this is ruination, by the way, the spell, with the black mist in here. To think something so pure as love could cause something so cruel and inescapable. Was it Lucian that did that? Something? The harrowing, on certain nights, a tide of hungry spirits swallow the black mist. It carries them across the seas to prey on the living and feed the growing darkness with foul new darkness. Not sure. But Thrash has always been a support character. Another Sentinel, which I missed, so there's a lot to miss too, is fighting these nightfall creatures, I think. What must the mist see when it looks upon Maeve? Exuberance, confidence, irrepressible optimism. How it must long to snuff at that taunting flame. For what can death fear but life? True. Fiego, the Simp King. There's something that deeply unsettles me about the young king. Something at his heart. A hunger that cannot be satisfied. A desire that goes unfulfilled. From the record of Nuno, Necrit of Carnivore. Camavore. Yeah, I don't know who this is, actually. Maybe they are not out yet. And here we see him with his shadow friends. It is obvious to me, in hindsight, that it was not Isolde's death, that fueled Viego's delusions, nor his need for fulfillment, but simply that something he desperately wanted was denied him. What a guy. So he can't take one rejection. Weak. Let's see if we can find some more background for him. Except that his wife died, just like Lucian's, and that now he has something he can't get. Chronicler of Ruin? There was a time when she sat with her father, a Lord Curator, as he studied the dusty tomes. He hoped one day she would take on the mantle, but not like this. Not like this. Maybe this. Oh, it's Thrash. The blessed isles forget, the shadow isles remember. The shadow isles forget, the blessed isles remember. It's a yin-yang. For centuries the black mist has sought out creatures all over the world, twisting and warping them, turning them into nightmarish versions of their past selves. Turning even a dragon, Game of Thrones and stuff. Spirits always return, okay. Alright. What's this? Nothing we know of. Was that it? Then? Wait, we can... what are they called? Encroaching mist. Let's see. Oh, this of course. Maokai worked tirelessly to cultivate life in the Shadow Isles. The mist's ambivalence makes its ironies no less cruel. Okay, not what I expected, but still cool. An encroaching mist. Each living creature that beholds the black mists sees something unique in it. Their own fears manifested and realized in vague roiling forms. It's like a nightmare eater or something. Alright. Okay, we can click. Kindred. Cool. Once there was a lonely man who split himself in twain. From one came two, born anew, never alone again. Again, sorry, of course. Death took the form of hunters, none escaped such as they. One cajoles with arrows and bow, one chases down its prey. Yes. Yes, it does. And we have more mask stuff, I think, mostly. The wings and the wave. First wave. What is death without life? What is death without life? No, what is life without death? And prey. They flickered through the dark forest, dotting the tree lines with stars in the dark sky, unaware of their pursuers. Lamp being one of the two kindred friends, of which we can't click them again. Lamp's respite, so this is Lamp. Shine once more before the end. Lamp. Like, say your last words is basically what they say, I think. Let's see if there's more. I think there's one more, maybe. Or look over them. But Hecarim, we have seen him a bit before. That's not thunder, the shadow of war is on the horizon. And when he evolves, he says, "Listen, here I'm right, the trampling of hoofs." And his matrons. The ghostly cries of soldiers, echoes of the past, resounding silence that follows. And he can summon these spectral riders. No longer bound by flesh, rider and beast become one. Centaur, determined to race mindlessly into battles they no longer understood. Okay, so they're not really on the side of the mist, but they are the mist, maybe. And I think they have some friends. Oh, Mask Mother is from Kindred still. Ugh, a big head, that's really scary. They say the Mask Mother created Kindred, just as she created all the incarnations of death. But from whom did she receive her mask if she didn't craft it herself? Can't tell at all. Shark Carriot is some more misdudes. She saw what? I see madness is a cruel mistress. Apothecary. At least the others make some degree of sense. They see what they fear, so if they fear sharks, that will be it. Let's see, Hecarim. Oh, this must be some Nightfall stuff still. Wow, that's pretty scary. With every setting sun, the night unfolds its dark wings and blots out the day's last remnants of hope. Oh no. What's this? We saw that before. Wait, this? No. Okay, so that was it, I think, for this one. If you want to see a particular one next, or maybe want to see some games, or request one of the champions to play with so you can see what they actually do, tell me in the comments, and then I'll make more of this. I'll definitely do that, but like, you can tell me what you would find interesting as well.